Aloha. Hey, it's Julie Ziemelis with 365 Hawaii Group, Keller Williams Realty. And we are here in the September Hawaii Island real estate update. And today we have a variety of our realtors and mortgage partners who will give us the update on what's happening in the market right now. And if you are live, we're going to let you ask questions as soon as we get through a lot of these different markets. New today is we have a new realtor. One of my colleagues from Keller Williams is Tanya Klett, and she will be covering the Hawaii and Waimea and North Kahala section of the island. And hopefully she'll tap in a little bit on the resorts today because our other partner, Jana Mahoney, is out sick today. So I will be helping cover the Waikoloa market. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have Lance Owens from Luva Real Estate. Lance, raise your hand. There you go. He's going to be covering the Kailua Kona market, both condos and single family. And then we're going to move it over to Delania Branham with EXP Realty. And she's going to be talking about the neighborhood spotlight to give us an idea on what's happening with trends in the local neighborhoods in Kona. And then we're going to pop it up to Amber Haley, who's with Real Broker, and she's going to be giving the east side Hawaii Island, the update. And then we're going to get it over to Marla and Scott Wynn from the Wynn and Egan team, who will be talking about rates and mortgage programs and questions that you may have about financing your home. So let us start. And then we also have Eric Ziemelis here. He's my team, 365 Hawaii too, and he can answer questions about trends as well. So let's start this with Lance Owens and go ahead and give us the update on what's happening in North Kona.
Hey guys, thank you. I appreciate that. So looking at North Kona numbers right now, and I try to make it up to date to the minute actually, so I just ran them. So we are tracking 38 sales for the month, and last month we did 46. So we are seeing a little bit of drop off of the number of sold. And in condos, we are tracking 30 where we did 39 last month. But some interesting numbers that I got into, and I did a little bit deeper dive into this, which I like to do. If I look at for single family homes for 2022, there was 232 new listings for the island. And last year in 21, there was 338 new listings. So we're down a full 30+% on the amount of new listings we get. So we're only down about 25% the number of homes sold, but we're down 30%, a little bit over that in the actual new listings. So looking at 2022, new listings island-wide for August 232, sold was 204. You look at 2021, there was 338 new listings and 268 sold. So we're actually tracking a better sale rate than we were a year ago. I thought that was pretty interesting. On condos, interestingly enough, island-wide in August, there was 49 new listings and 58 sold. So we sold more than new listings that we got. So condos are really hurting for new listings. Last year, in 21, there was 92 new listings in August and 90 sold. So we're actually have a better sale rate today than we did a year ago. So I thought was interesting to me.
Those are island-wide condo sales.
That was island-wide, yeah.
And
yeah.
And for Kona specifically.
And for Kona specifically, today we have 30 active listings.
Okay. And then
and we're tracking selling 38. 30. We got 30 active and we're tracking 30 for sales. So we're right at 1 month's inventory on condos.
Pricing.
Pricing was, jump to that, apologize. When I'm jumping to that, a healthy market should have about 6 months inventory and we're at 1. Residential median home price, $1,057,000. And it was $887,450 a year ago, and so it's $170,000 higher median home price here in Kona. That is for the month of September, actually. So as of right now, that's our numbers. For condos are at $590 is the median price, and they were $430 a year ago.
Okay. And I saw that today at the broker meeting that they showed what the median price was for all 4 islands, and we are still the lowest.
Yeah. by
Not by
about
much.
25,000, I think. So, but yeah. And the absorption rate, really quick, you guys, the absorption rate on North Kona is, for all the listings, is 54%. If you remember, below 15% is a buyer's market, above 20% is a seller's market. So 54%, we're almost 3 times into a seller's market.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I'm gonna go to Delania and kind of give her an idea of
Yep.
what's like right now.
So thank you.
Okay, so Delania, thank you. What's going on with the trends? Delania's gonna do 3 different neighborhoods that she's been tracking. Are you?
Hi there. So we're going to look at the same 3 areas that we looked at before. The first one, Pualani Estates. There's 4 active listings between 895 and 975,000, which is basically what we were looking at last month. 3 of those have had price reductions. They've all been on the market close to 3 months. Sold between August and September. There were 4 sales between 895 and 1 million. Sorry, gotta help her with me. Last July, August, the sales were between 900,000 and 1 million. So not a reduction in the sale price. Three of the sales that happened in August were over asking, and September was just a little bit under. So prices aren't really changing in Pualani. Ali'i, there's 0 active units right now. There's 4 under contract. So the 4 that were active last month are under contract. Sales August and September between 462,000 and 535,000. Last July, August, last month, they were between 462 and 515. So prices are staying. And all of those sales, except for 1, they sold at or just under asking price. So it's not that frenzy over asking crazy market, but they're still selling. Then the last one we looked at was Lakahimakai, and there are, as of today, there's 2 active listings in there. Preview just came on today, 959,000. The active at 850 has been on for 29 days, and it's a short sale. And the only one that sold in this last month sold for 975,000, and that was like 15,000 under asking, and I think it'd been on like 30 days at that point. So across the board, his spotlight on those 3 neighborhoods is that prices aren't dropping. You know, the frenzy's going away. The market is holding. They're sitting a little bit longer, but they're still, you know, the prices haven't dropped, and they're still selling pretty close to asking price.
Okay, thanks, Delaney. I appreciate that. I'm going to take my stab here at doing this for the first time in 6 years of running off some numbers for you guys for the Waikoloa market. I thought I pulled a summary of what's happening with the market. Thanks to Lance for helping me pull these numbers. I appreciate that. So right now, it's for single family residents in Waikoloa Village. There's 13 homes on the market that sold, and then the highest one went for 1.5 million. And these are single families, and the median price was 939,900 for the singles, and then the lowest was 629. And then days on market, the average was 64 and the median was 61. So that took almost 2 months to get those homes off the market. And then for a summary of the current condos, let's see. Look at this, is harder than I thought. You guys are good. So for the condos, the listings were the average days on the market was for the condos was 19, and then for the listings the average was 527,398, and then price per square square doesn't matter, 504, and then the I want to tell you guys, so there's about 10 condos on the market right now, and 3 of those are in the Limilani, one's in Waikoloa Hills and one's in Waikoloa Fairways. And we kind of looked at what was going on, and we found the same thing that Delaney found, was that most of the condos and homes are listing for about what they're being asked for. So about 100% of asking. So nothing too crazy, but the market's not falling apart in Waikoloa Village either. So Tanya, on to you.
All right, thank you. I guess I'm in the hot seat now. Okay, so Hamakua, there have been 4 total closings this month. Median price was $463 and average days on the market 27. And that's compared to last month, there were only 7 closed, median price $655 and average days on market 23. So not too much of a change there. As for listings, there's 13 active, and those, it's a pretty big range. It's from 450,000 to 2.9. And that 2.9, it's a YPO B&B guest house, so quite a big range there. Then North Kohala, that there are 3 closings so far. The median price is $425 with average days on market at 28. And again, with the closings are either right on asking or just ever so slightly. And it's pretty comparable with last month. And listed 25 active, and those range also quite a big range from 487 to 6.25 million, and that includes a Kohala waterfront home, so resort home there. And then South Kohala, the main numbers include Waikoloa, but I'll pull those out in the next one. So that's 17 current units that have closed, and the median price there is 1,065, which 63 average days on the market. And 18 active listings ranging from 399 to 4.95. And that's up in Waikiki. It's just the way the slice of the pie, as Jana says, works. And I think that's it. Anything else I should be adding?
No, just question for you on Hamakua, the coast of Hamakua. What are you basically seeing? Looking at the numbers and stuff, what's going on up there? Do you see price reductions or things coming on the market? What's the story?
It's a pretty even mix. I'm seeing reductions. There's a lot of land available, and that's sitting for a while. And then basically, if anything is overpriced, it's going to sit. And if it's priced according to the market, you'll see that move.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
in all areas. Yeah, I think that's pretty standard all over.
Yeah, I think all around. If everyone nods their head, is that what they're seeing in all their markets? Right? Yeah, a good listing will sell pretty quickly. Lance?
I was just noticing in Tanya's in South Kohala that you were the highest absorption rate in the county. You guys are at 57% there versus Kona's 54%.
There we go. So that means that things are selling quickly up there. No, absorption, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There. Okay, then let's bounce it over to Amber Haley. Go for it.
All right, Amber Haley here over in East Hawaii. So today we're focusing on Puna and South Hilo districts. So right now our median price is holding pretty steady. I haven't seen median price home values decrease. So Puna district is sitting at about $355,000 for a single family home. And the South Hilo district is about $444,000 for single family homes right now. A big trend I'm seeing over here is Puna district just seems to be more and more popular with buyers who are probably priced out of most other parts of the state of Hawaii and definitely here on the Big Island. So I'm seeing a lot of action in a couple neighborhoods in particular that have a lot of our inventory. So for those of you looking at East Hawaii, Hawaiian Paradise Park is really popular right now. I believe there are about 59 active, not under contract listings, ranging from just under 200,000 to just over 700,000 that aren't under contract right now. A lot of buyers looking for new construction in this area. A new construction home in Hawaiian Paradise Park, I'm seeing those still being listed in the 600,000s, which compared to a few years ago is, seems pretty high to all of us who live over here still. And another popular neighborhood for new construction I'm seeing is Ainaloa. There is, I think I checked today, 39 active listings there that aren't under contract. That's quite a few. And a lot of new construction going in there. And new construction there usually starts at about $400,000. So still affordable real estate over on the east side. Things are selling really close to list price if they're priced correctly. You know, I am seeing those price reductions too. But yeah, if you're priced out of West Hawaii, maybe come take a tour of East Hawaii. And that the Puna neighborhoods, I think, are going to hold value in this market just because of supply and demand for affordable real estate.
Good job. Thank you very much. Hey, and also for people looking in East Hawaii, that shopping center they put in, the brand new one. How's that? Is that cooking? I mean, is there tons of people going there? Is that like the hubbub now?
Yeah, Punakai Marketplace in Pahoa, actually. It's in Pahoa, and it is a hot spot. Ever since it came in, we have like a beautiful grocery store. I think it's the nicest grocery store on the whole island. It might be one of the more expensive ones too. But it's really nice to even have live music there. I mean, it is like the hub of Puna right now. We got new restaurants, gym. I mean, it's an exciting place to be. And, you know, we do kind of quickly forget over here in Puna that we are on one of the world's most active volcanoes here with all this new construction and new marketplaces, but it is an exciting time to live here.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well then let's go to finding out what's happening with the mortgage market. So Marla and Scott, give us a little update on what's happening in your realm.
All right. Well, interest rates. I think everybody kind of has a pulse on what's going on there. But let me give you some statistics that I've seen here recently. Depending upon the source you're looking at, rates are somewhere between 6.3 to about 6.6% right now on average for 30-year fixed mortgages. That's obviously based on lots of different parameters, but those rates are industry averages for 20% down, 740 credit score, conventional financing type loan programs, of course, owner occupied or primary residences. If we look about a month ago, we were almost about 1% less. So interest rates have increased rapidly. And what's causing that? I think there's some confusion as to what's happening and why it's happening. And a lot of people think it has to do with the Fed increasing interest rates. And I just want to make sure that there's some clarification there that mortgage rates are not tied to the Fed rate. So when the Fed is talking about increasing interest rates like they did yesterday, that does not directly impact mortgage rates. They're just completely different rates that they're talking about. The Fed funds rate is the rate in which banks lend money to each other, where of course mortgage rates, and that's a daily overnight rate. So it's a very, very short-term rate versus mortgage rates, which of course are very long-term, 30-year mortgage rates. So very different rates, but they are kind of tied to the same thing. I mean, really, what causes mortgage rates to go up is inflation. Inflation is probably the number one tie to mortgage rates. And that's just because of how everything works in the economy. And when inflation goes up, the cost of goods goes up. And so what the Fed is trying to do right now is they're trying to manipulate the market, basically. And so when the Fed increases interest rates, it naturally causes people to spend less because now the cost of borrowing is higher. And when the cost of borrowing is higher, of course, people are less likely to spend. They're more likely to save. And that drives up supply. And so as supply goes up, just if we look at just general economics, as supply goes up, demand goes down, prices will come down. And that's what the Fed is trying to do, is they're trying to curb that inflation. And so as inflation comes down, then what will ultimately happen is mortgage rates will come down as well. So there's some forecasts that we might be seeing mortgage rates in the mid fours, maybe within the next 3 to 6 months or so is some of the forecasts that I've been seeing. And that's what I'm seeing in the economic data as well, is that inflation numbers, although they look not that great right now, it's because of the month over month recurring pattern. But as we've had high inflation over the last year or so now, what we're going to start to see, I think, is those inflation numbers starting to tick down a little bit rather than up like we've seen over the last year. So.
And you're hearing that this is going to happen in the next 4 to 5 months?
Probably so. That's some of the forecasts that we're seeing and some of the data that we're seeing related to what the inflation numbers are. And of course, with the Fed increasing rates as quickly as they are, and they're anticipating continuing to increase those throughout the remainder of the year, that's going to slow the economy down even more than it has already. And that, again, because inflation is so tightly correlated to mortgage rates, as inflation starts to curb and lower, so will mortgage rates.
No, I heard that that's good news too, because the developers in the construction industry on this in the United States are holding back from building new houses until the interest rates come down. And so we can't fix our supply problem until we build more houses. So that's good news for the future. That's for sure.
And we've got years and years of catching up to do for sure from the inventory perspective, because not only have home builders started slowing, they slowed significantly back in the bubble that occurred. And we have the highest number of first-time homebuyers, or those that are in the age of being first-time homebuyers, entering the market than we've ever seen. So between new homebuyers and the lack of housing, there's definitely an industry-wide shortage of homes.
Yes, that's more so than usual, it seems, in Hawaii Island. So unless you're in Puna. So that seems to be a robust market. So Lance, did you want to do the kind of your headline waving experience with the?
Well, I had a quick question actually for Scott and Marla, because I'm not an economist, but I love looking at the numbers and seeing what's happening. And I kind of, my question for you, Scott, because, we all are watching what the feds are doing and why are they doing it and trying to curb the home prices. But what I'm seeing is, because they've risen them so fast and it was so low for so long, the impression I'm getting, we're 100 homes less active right now than we were a year ago at this time. So with that said, what's happening, what I see, or what I think is happening, is that I'm getting ready to sell my home. I'm making $200,000 profit, but my interest rate is going to go from 3 to 6. So I've lost that $200,000 profit. And why would I sell? So I'm just not going to list my home right now. So I think it's actually not helping it. It's kind of hurting it because it didn't go gradually. It's gone so fast. I just wanted a mortgage, guys and girls, take on that.
So I think it's exactly what the Fed wants. They don't want people buying and selling homes right now, because when people buy and sell homes, there's lots of things that happen when people buy and sell homes. Not only is it the real estate transaction and the mortgage transaction, but it's an insurance transaction, it's movers, it's boxes, it's all those sorts of things that happen, right? So the less people spend, then the more they'll be able to curb inflation. And so real estate is one of the biggest industries that can slow the economy. And so it's exactly the intent that they have, is to slow the economy as quickly as they can, which is why they're increasing rates as fast as they can. The analogy that I recently heard is that, unfortunately, the Fed doesn't really have a lot of patience. And so they're trying to respond as quickly as they can to what they're seeing and to curb that inflation. And so if you think about it as like turning on the hot water on a faucet, right? Generally, when you turn the hot water on a faucet, you don't get immediately hot water. You kind of have to let it rise up a little bit, then you get the hot water. But with the Fed, because they're a little bit impatient, is they turn it all the way up, and then they don't get the response, so they keep turning it up, and then they don't get the response, so they keep turning it up rather than waiting for it to develop. And then what's going to happen is that we're going to slow the economy, and we're going to see that here in the next few months, which is what the forecast is showing. And then they're going to have to switch it off, and then they're probably going to switch it all the way back to cold rather than just moving it back to the center and kind of letting it be patient for a bit. So I think that that's what we're going to see. And I think Hawaii is a unique market, specifically the Big Island, because there is so little inventory. The rest of the mainland is seeing significant inventory increases because just the vast number of people and properties and new construction that has been done over the years. But I think with the low inventory, that's just going to be something that we're always going to experience on the Big Island.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And also, when we talk about the economic, impact to the Big Island, is that because we don't have a lot of homes consistently, it keeps the values up. So when people are worried about a housing market crash on the island, or they're losing significant amounts of equity in their house that they just bought right now, that's not really going to happen for the most part, right? Lance, Scott, yeah.
I would agree. The other thing I would point out is that real estate prices, I think, are going to stay fairly stable, especially as we're talking about, right? Inventory is controlled to a degree, especially in Hawaii, right? And so because the housing prices are most likely going to stay stable, interest rates are temporary. And interest rates will likely, as we've been talking about, decrease. And so one of the ideas is that you can take advantage of this window of opportunity where there's a lot of buyers that may not be interested in purchasing right now because it is less affordable to buy. But if you can take advantage of that and you have more inventory options available to you than maybe we've had over the last year or so, you can buy the home now, and then when rates drop, you can refinance that interest rate. But you got to take advantage of the opportunity that's available right now with more supply, more homes on the market, and less demand because there's not as many buyers in the market because they're scared by the interest rates, the lower affordability. So I think there's an opportunity there for those that are willing to enter the market and then maybe refinance a year from now when rates are a little bit lower.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting you say that. We're having 2 buyers right around Kona right now looking for homes. And the good news is that they have had chance to think about not one guy waited a little too long. He waited 5 days. He lost his house, but everybody else is getting a chance to actually kind of really think about this, if they really want the house, if there's could be a pool or whatever, where I told them 6 months ago, it would have been do you like this house or not? And if we make an offer right now, you're already going to get, multiple offers. So again, it's a good market, I think, right now for buyers to be in because they're not being hurried. They're not having multiple offers. And now, like you said, with the interest rates coming down, there's a finite amount of time before people start coming back into the market, right? So yeah. So my other realtor friends, what do you guys think about this? Is this knowing that this information about the financial market, don't you guys think that maybe over the next few months this might be a good time to buy?
Yeah, I do think having that concept that it's a seller's market, like triple time seller's market, but houses are sitting longer. Sellers are getting more desperate because they went into this thinking, oh, I can ask whatever I want. And a lot of things are overpriced. So knowing that you can go in and you don't have to offer your firstborn and you don't have to waive inspections. If we start to trickle back into another frenzied market, then you lose that opportunity to be a little more aggressive as a buyer. So yeah, if you can sit with a little bit higher of an interest rate for a little while and fix that later on, then not the worst idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
It seems like there's a nice opportunity there to take a little break, but be able to look at things. We've looked at several properties with people, and instead of saying we have to get it today or that's it, you can say let's look at 4 or 5, which is definitely nice. And the other thing that's been interesting is that, like you guys are talking about, if it's overpriced, then it just sits there. But once it comes down into the right realm, then it tends to go a little bit quicker. But the question is, where is that price? And a lot of people are kind of confused when they're pricing property these days of where the new reality is. You know what I mean? Is it, we know it's less than it was before, but how much lower is it? And some have missed and some have hit it pretty well. So
I'll add one more thing about historical trends and things like that related to both real estate and mortgage. And that is that we are anticipating a recession, and it's not official until months after the recession actually happens that we are in a recession. But generally, if you look at what's defined as a recession, is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. We've already experienced that. That's what is basically been shown. So we are basically in a recession. And if we look historically at recessions, I think it's something like 9 out of the last 9 recessions, mortgage rates have dropped during the recession. And if we look at real estate prices, it has increased 8 out of the 9 last recessions. So if we're talking about that window of opportunity, right, where buyers can get in and they can take advantage of buying real estate that's going to most likely appreciate like it has over the last 8 out of the 9 recessions. And then they can take advantage of the interest rates that are going to drop 9 out of the last 9 recessions. Then again, you can refinance that rate while take advantage of the higher appreciation that you're going to see in the real estate. So just another piece of information there.
That's great information. Okay. So Lance, you want to jump into your misinformation campaign?
Well, I got into my rant early on in the thing, just showing that, we had 200 new homes listed versus 300 a year ago. So that was it. So just, even though the headlines are saying that we're in this housing recession, it's if you look at certain numbers, we are, but if you look at the whole overall picture, I don't think we are.
You don't think we're in a recession?
I believe we're in a recession, but not a housing recession.
Right.
There's all those headline grabbing things out there about it's tanking, that this is it. There's so many less homes selling. And yeah, there is, but there's also a third less listings than there were.
Yeah, it all kind of like correlates.
Yeah. So if you put it into perspective, then it's not as bad as it looks.
Right.
And Scott gave a good explanation on that, because I got to wrap my head around that a little bit later, Scott, but you made sense. So it's not like it was hard to understand, but I have this feeling a little bit that the I don't know if they were expecting so many people to not list their home, but you're right. That's by home sales stopping, it stops a whole slew of things from happening.
Right. They call that, there's a gentleman I follow, and he said it was like a mortgage lockdown where people won't move. Their mortgage rate was so good getting in that then they tie up inventory for years. And so then the only way out of that is more homes need to be built. And the only way more homes are going to be built is as mortgage prices go down, and, planning, zoning, everything else loosens up in all the cities around the country. So, yeah. And then also, good.
I was just say, Julie, like realtor hat off, consumer hat on. That's me. I'm sitting on a pile of equity and a really nice interest rate. And especially, if I were to move off island, that might make a difference, but making a lateral move here, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So, one less house on the market.
Well, if you feel that way, you can imagine everyone who bought in the last 4 years, right? Or people who refinanced. You can refinance down to 2.5%, and then you're not going to jump back out into a 6% market. So yeah, but I'm telling you, Scott's information gives me hope. So
hey, Julie, I'm going to tack onto that for a second, and just on the headlines, and plus I haven't gotten to talk yet. So
go ahead.
Just that they do put attention grabbing headlines out, and it's because fear sells. But if people would read the entire article, they would find out that the headline doesn't really tell the whole story. So it's not the sky is falling in the housing market. There is deceleration, but there's not depreciation. So I think one of the things we hear all the time in mortgage business is marry the house, date the rate. So you get into the house you want, and right now you can, because there's less competition, get in without paying over, pay a little bit higher interest rate. And then when they come down, we're going to finance your own house rather than trying to get into a house that you don't have any guarantee of getting into escrow with a lower interest rate.
Right. That's a great strategy too. In fact, if you guys have anything to share on that, both of you, I'll include links and stuff inside the description on this video. And then, like you said, Marla, too, I was looking at, if you look housing market 2022 right now, all the YouTube videos are screaming housing market crash, yeah. And then you're right. You watch the video at the end, they say, well, it's not really bearing itself out. And so, yeah. And is there any questions from the people who are watching the show right now? We've got quite a few of our people who actually purchased homes from us. Hi, Bob Stair. Hey, Lance, Bob, remember he was one of our clients. I got a chance to meet him at the Kona Newbies barbecue this last week. So thanks.
Yeah, last 2 times he was in town, I missed him. So I'm sorry I missed you again, Bob. Let me know when you're coming into town again.
There he is. Yep. In fact, he was sitting behind me when I was talking about mortgage rates at the barbecue, and all of a sudden popped in, hey. So,
I wanted to add on something real quick too, Julie, this is off what everybody's been saying with the interest rates and things like that. I've been looking at a truck on the mainland in Texas, and just a few weeks ago, I called the guy on it, oh yeah, we're not budging, I can go make more money than that on at auction with that truck. I'm like, okay. And I got a call from him yesterday. Hey, the market for trucks is slowing down a little bit now. If you're still interested in that truck, we just dropped the price $3,000, and I probably got a little bit more room to play with. So, it's hitting everything.
Yeah. That's right. It doesn't obviously the interest rates influence car financing. So all the big toys that people have to worry about. So
Another thing that should drive inflation down is the supply chain loosening up too. So as the supply chain and goods start making it to consumers again, and they're all getting out of the ports where they've been locked up, that's going to increase the supply. And so that will decrease inflation as well. And hopefully the Fed will respond and things will get better.
So just throwing this out, are we seeing a normal economy by next summer with no supply demand, no pandemic, lower interest rates? Does it look healthy and happy? Anyone?
No one's going to speculate.
So
That's a lot to ask for, isn't it?
it's a hopeful bone. So
Here's what I think is challenging.
Jim says no. Okay. You gotta throw, you can't throw 2023 under the bus just yet. So okay, so if we don't have, okay, again, just before we close up, I just want to make sure that everybody's got a chance to say something. Is there any other interesting trends that people are seeing out there that they want to talk about real quick right now? Either mortgage or housing, or what's happening on the island? No. Okay.
I'm noticing that like my escrows are all really, really on track as compared to how it was during all the frenzy. I don't know if everyone else is experiencing that, or if it's just, sometimes you just have smoother ones than others, but that's been really refreshing. Having the escrow officers, they probably, are, it's not as frantic for them. So my escrows are going really smooth.
Yeah.
And,
in fact, I'm closing on a buyer next week, and she was able to move up her closing by 2 weeks. And when we asked the termite guy to move himself up 2 weeks, he immediately said, yes, I'll do it. And he just went in today, and we got the report back in 1 day. And same thing with inspections, where before I heard that, you couldn't make the closing happen sooner because all the service people were all backed up.
Yeah, there was always a lot of delays because it just was hard to get vendors in. And I'm seeing that kind of shift. But that being said, for those of you who are listening, escrows in Hawaii that are typically 45 to 60 days on a financing deal. And that doesn't mean you can't run into delays still. So
right. But if you use,
I was going to agree with you. Yep.
The rock solid, strong mortgages, they happen quickly and on time. So okay. Well, then we kept this to, a good time frame. So I appreciate everyone being here today. And if I know a couple people came in late, so I'm going to turn this into a video, and I'll put it up on the YouTube channel under 365 Hawaii's Real Estate Minute channel, so you can look at it. And we have been getting about at least 600 people watching these things. So everyone who watches this later, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And if you do need real estate advice, I'd like to think that I'm the person that floats it out to everybody. So you can contact me directly, and I'll put you in contact with one of our mortgage or real estate partners if it works out location wise. And keep in mind that Eric and I are the Hawaii Real Estate Group as well. And my other people I work with, Delaney and Lance, who help with Kona and stuff, everyone has their different people that they like to work with different personalities. So, we help them all. It's all a good day. We like to make sure everyone has a good experience buying a home here on Big Island. So with that, we say thank you very much. And we will see you guys in October, and we'll see what happens with the housing market at that point. So aloha, and thanks to our people here who are offering their advice and expertise. Aloha.
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 Great to see all you guys. Thank you.